Like good day, mates. In this video I'm going to teach you guys how to read from a file. And actually what I want to do first is, right now we just have bacon is good. Not very cool. I actually want a couple lines to read to, I don't know, if we just have one line to read it'll be kind of boring. So go ahead and type, I don't know, 2 or 3 more lines. So bacon is good. I really uh like to eat meatballs, and then we'll just say cheese. I don't know, like a freaking haiku or something. Bacon is good. Really like to eat meatballs. Cheese. So go ahead and save this. And so right now we pretty much created this file right here. We created it with C in the last tutorial, and then we edited it in Notepad or any text editor you have. So now let's go ahead and read it in C. So the first thing, remember, whenever we're working with files, is just that file pointer. I'm going to name it F pointer again. Why not? So what we need to do is read this. First thing, F open. Again, just think of this function is pretty much the equivalent of opening up your Notepad program. So F open pretty much opens up its own version of Notepad, even though that's not what it does. But if you think about it that way, it's going to be really easy to understand this function. And of course, whenever you have Notepad open, you need to select what file you want to work with, and we're just working with this bacon text file, so that's the equivalent of doing file open, that first parameter. And the last one is, what do you want to do with it? Well, in the last tutorial we wrote that file, and now we just want to read it. So pretty much saying whatever's in here, get ready to just give me that information, read it back to me. Now what I want to do is print it on the screen, and we actually need one other thing to just print it in this little command line thing, because right now, here, let me close this. F close, F pointer. So right now, this command line, or this yeah, I guess you could call it this little command line black box. This is a very simple program. It can't just take a file and read it. This actually needs variables in C. That's what it was built for. So in order to display the contents of our file in that little command line window, we actually need to first store the content in something that C can use, such as a character array. So I'm going to store it in this single line array because I'm going to be printing it out line by line. So once we have an array created, what I can do is just make a very basic while loop. And this is how you read a file line by line. Now the first thing is we need to say run this loop pretty much from the beginning of the file to the end. So by default, remember, our file pointer is going to start at the beginning. So we're pretty much going to say loop until the end. How do we do that? Well, we'll say let me just type it and then talk to you guys about FEOF F pointer and hit enter. So basically what this means is file end of file. In this explanation mark, you know that it means not. So what this is saying is, as you read the file, this file pointer is going to progress like this. It's going to go to the end and then start on a new line, and it's going to go all the way pretty much left to right, exactly how people read in real life, from left to right, line by line. And what this is going to say is keep looping until you get to the end of the file. In other words, as long as the file pointer did not reach the end of the file yet, continue to run this. Simple enough. So now we can just go ahead and the first thing that we need to do is actually say, okay, F gets one line, just like it does in the command line. So F gets single line 150 F pointer. What this is going to do is it gets a line. Now before we just used gets to get it from the command line, but in this case it's going to get your file line by line. So instead of using standard input such as keyboard, it's going to use that file. So the first time it's going to be equal to this, the second time it's going to be equal to this, and the last time it's going to be equal to this, which is cheese. So that's what F gets does. And now we can just use regular puts because we're not putting it to a file, we're just putting it to the command line for the user to see. And of course, the information was stored in single line. So just print out whatever it is on a single line. And that's it. So let's run this and check it out. So what it's going to do is it's going to go through and get all of that crap line by line and then print it out on the screen. So bacon is good. I really like to eat meatballs and cheese. Now the only other thing I want to point out is this. You see how there is a space between every line? Well, the reason for that is because this. Remember, puts automatically adds content to a new line every time. So we understand why this stuff is on a new line, but why the space in between? Where is that extra new line coming from? Well, it's coming from here. In your text file, even though you can't see it, your computer programs see this at the end of every line, a new line character. And this is how your text editor knows to put each of this crap on a new line. However, let me redo that actually. Redo. However, what's happening in this program right here is it's copying all of this with fgets, and then it's putting it to a new line. So whenever it puts that to the new line, it adds the other new line from puts plus the new line that was already in this text file right here. So that's why you have a space between every line, even though your text file appears not to. So again, one last time, if you got this down, move on to the next tutorial. Basically, we opened a file, we said, okay, we want to read from it using this R character, and then we said, okay, we pretty much need a character array to store all the crap that you're going to read it line by line, print it out on the screen, and then when we're done with everything, close it out. Very simple stuff. Now we know how to write files and read files. The only other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is how to append files, how to add on to the end of this. And once we're done with that, it's actually going to be like 2 seconds. We can learn about random access files and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. But for now, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and well, see you next time.